8.
Good evening and welcome back to the Coach's Corner, your home for information and inspiration about the sport we love most. I'm your host, Phil Pompey, and tonight's segment is on recovery. We're going to separate facts from fiction surrounding this important element of training and offer some practical knowledge to help you recover like the best of them. I want to start out by saying that the only reason to get serious about recovery is if you're also serious about training hard. Recovery should be understood within the rhythm of a week of training. If you're just going on recovery runs every day, or skipping the workout days but showing up on recovery days, that's just called being lazy. On the other hand, if you're hammering every single run all summer and all fall, that's equally foolish. There's a proven science to this whole training thing. After all, we call it training because that's what we're doing. We're training our bodies and our minds to be able to handle faster paces for longer periods of time. Training makes us stronger, builds endurance, and ultimately helps us run PRs and win races. So how does it work? I like to think of it like cleaning a windshield. Before I could drive, I would watch my dad clean the windshield with a squeegee in one hand and a paper towel in the other. Between each long stroke, he would take a second to wipe the water off the squeegee. When I asked him why, he told me that it prevented streaks. Proper recovery is like wiping the squeegee between each stroke, or hard effort. Instead of preventing streaks on the windshield, it prevents injuries. And instead of producing a sparkling piece of glass, this alternation between stroke and wipe will produce a fit, strong, and confident athlete. For those of you more interested in science than metaphors, here's the 2-minute version of the science behind supercompensation. That's right, supercompensation. Here we go. Each time we stress a muscle group, say on a long progression run, the muscles that helped carry us through that long effort start to break down. That's why those muscles are sore the next day. Our bodies are amazing though, because after that initial workout, our body starts rebuilding those depleted muscles in order to prepare for the next workout. It's our own natural defense mechanism. Those muscles didn't like what you put them through, so your body builds them back stronger just in case you try to put them through something similar in the future. That rebuilding process takes time. That's why we need a recovery day or two in between each of our hard effort days. If we time it just right, the next big workout will come right at the end of that restitution phase when the supercompensation has occurred. Those muscle groups are now stronger and more durable than before, and properly recovered, so they're ready for another hard effort, which will break them down and start the process all over again. If we follow this process over the course of a full block of training, we can see marked improvement in strength and fitness in just a few weeks. However, if we keep stressing the same muscle groups without allowing adequate recovery time, the process falls apart, and that's where we risk injury. And if we don't stress the muscle group often enough, then we're not likely to improve all that much.
Here are a few graphics to illustrate the adaptation process that our body goes through to achieve supercompensation. First, a single training stimulus, aka hard workout. Here, a few effort days throughout the course of a week. And here, the training effect over the course of a training block. Finally, here's a look at the results of this type of training over the course of a high school career. These are the season bests of a recent graduate from St. Francis who trained his tail off and took his recovery very seriously for 4 straight years. His high school career ended at the California State Meet where he competed in the 800 and the 4x4 relay. He now runs for Cal Poly.
Now, I can't guarantee that extra attention to the adaptation process will land every high school runner a spot on a Division I track team, but I can guarantee that you will improve your fitness, minimize the chance of injury, and help drop those times. Recovery is more than just harder runs and workouts followed by easier runs, though. I'm going to finish this segment with a few pro tips to aid the recovery process and maximize the training effect of any hard effort. Recovery also includes how you treat your body in between those training sessions. Remember, the recovery phase is the time during which your body is rebuilding the muscles that you depleted in the workout. Stretching, rolling, and icing can help reduce soreness and inflammation, but those alone won't help your muscles rebuild. Our body wants to repair those depleted muscles, and it's your job to give it what it needs to do so. So what should you eat and drink after a hard workout? Primarily, your muscles need protein to rebuild and carbs to help synthesize those proteins and provide fuel to burn during your next run. Scientists who study this stuff say that a ratio of about 4-to-1 carbs to protein is ideal to aid muscles in the rebuilding process. That's why chocolate milk has become such a popular recovery drink. First of all, getting these nutrients in liquid form means that your body can absorb them faster. Second, the carbs to protein ratio is almost perfect. The Lucerne chocolate milk that Safeway sells, also known as the official recovery drink of St. Francis Cross Country and Track, has a ratio of 3.6 to 1. Nesquik is closer to 3.1 to 1. If you're not a fan of milk or you'd rather eat your recovery nutrients than drink them, I found that most Clif bars are pretty close to that ideal ratio. If you're curious, the chocolate chip peanut crunch flavor is 4.1 grams of carbs to every 1 gram of protein. It's also delicious. Lastly, water. Your body needs water to digest what you eat before and after you train, deliver oxygen and nutrients to your muscles during training, and of course, regulate your body temperature through sweat. Hydration is a non-negotiable for any athlete. You should be drinking water throughout the day to prepare for your workout and after practice to aid in the recovery process. And finally, the easiest and maybe most enjoyable part of recovery is sleep. This is when the majority of the muscle rebuilding happens. Unfortunately, for a lot of young athletes, sleep can also be the most challenging part of the process. I would encourage you to think of it this way. You can have a great workout, put exactly the right things in your body, but if you stay up half the night playing video games or Snapchatting or finishing the essay that was assigned 2 weeks ago, you're never going to realize the maximum benefit of that workout. You've already done the hard part. Now, do yourself a favor by completing the easy part. Thanks for joining us this evening for this segment on recovery. I hope you learned something valuable, which will inspire you to take your recovery and overall training a little more seriously. Remember, it is a process. Commit to it, and it will reward you. Check back later this week for our next segment on footwear. Until then, I'm Phil Pompey, signing off from the Coach's Corner.